indeed. God is so amazing shining through us. How come God isn't shining through you each and every moment of every day? Although it really is there, it needs us to have the will to turn that power on, the power of God, to turn on the conduit, which we are, for the energy and the frequency and the vibration of God. Because otherwise, we're just in the dark. You know, the other day I was here and I put out the sign after I decided to do the message, "Turn on your power." I put the sign out front, and the woman from the solar company came in the door. And she said, "I just turned on your power." So we're hooked up. We're generating. And we're generating enough power to share the excess with 4 or 5 buildings this size. So all of that extra power is going out onto the grid, being shared with everyone. So that's the idea that I want to get across really strongly today, is that you have the ability to turn on enough power, not just for your own life, because to me that's not enough. If anybody is suffering anywhere in the world, I am not at peace. If anybody anywhere in the world is unaware of who they are, the magnificence and the power that dwells within them, if they are unaware of that, then I am not at peace, truly. So my mission is to turn on my power bright enough, to turn on that light bright enough so that others have permission to turn on theirs, that others have the knowledge that they too are as God created them. There's a great author in Unity, Eric Butterworth, who was one of our most famous ministers and authors, and he wrote a book that many of you have read called Discover the Power Within You. And the subtitle of that book is A Guide to the Unexplored Depths Within. And my question is, why are the depths within unexplored? It's because I've been unwilling to explore them. I don't want to go there. I don't want to turn on my own power. So what I want to do today is talk about what is power, how can we turn it on, how can we connect to it, and once we connect and turn it on, how do we keep it on? I'd like to look at that today. You know, speaking of Eric Butterworth in this wonderful little book, he says something extraordinary in here, that Jesus knew that the Spirit in man is a miracle-making power. The Spirit in you is a miracle-making power. The problem is we've looked at God from our own perspective and not with an open mind. We've made a God in our image instead of allowing that experience of the divine to take all forms, not just many forms, but all forms. And so there's a miracle-making power within you. I like to look at God as an energy. And that's the aspect of God that I want to focus on today, that it's energy. It's like electricity, right? It's like it's all through the building, it's all around us, it's within us. But if I don't turn on the switch, I'm going to be in the dark. And many of us have led our lives in the dark, afraid to turn on that switch. We're either unaware the switch is there, or we're aware of it, we're just comfortable in the dark. We don't want to know our power. We don't want responsibility for manifesting our own life. We want to blame someone else for what's going wrong and maybe blame some divine source when it's going right. But we never want to take power, take the responsibility for our own power. So what Eric Butterworth says in this book is, Jesus knew that the Spirit in man is a miracle-working power. He knew that we do not experience this power because we make it too hard for Spirit to express. We judge ourselves and the world by appearances. We measure man's possibilities by his past experiences rather than by his innate potential. God can work a miracle for you if you don't make it too hard. This is what Jesus was saying over and over again. Know the truth about yourself, about the indwelling potential of your own divinity. Know that truth. And know the divine law. And open your inner, I like this, open your inner eye to see life from a higher dimension. And that's what the Daily Word was talking about earlier, is that our intellect or our outer eye can only go so far. And then we're going to have to trust. We're going to have to trust in that intuitive divine law, that nature, the divine nature within us. And I think it's so important to know that it is within us. That we're always so busy looking out there trying to find it. There was a great philosopher one time. He said, man searching for God is like fish searching for the water. It's all around us. It's more than all around us. It's what we are. It's our life. It sustains us, and it's within us and all around us. And there's been I think a wonderful movement towards looking within. God is within you. But it's not going to work if you're denying God without, or the energy that's all around us. Because that energy is what the universe is. It's all around us. We don't have this electricity until we either generate it or we collect it from the sun. And so these solar panels on our roof are a very important part of the collection of energy. We are passively collecting it rather than generating it through misplaced passion. And I feel that's the whole crux of all of our problems, the misplaced passion to try to somehow reconcile the ego with the spirit. Just allow spirit to have control of you and your ego and your life and everything else, and you'll be fine. What we've been trying to do is saying, I have the power. I can do what I want to do. I can do whatever I want with this earth. I can treat people any way I want. And it comes from a misinterpretation of who we are as spiritual beings and what power is. Because power really comes from love. It does not come from control. I'm going to talk a little more about this, but I need some visual aids to help me. Let's see if I can run this thing. Here we go. True inner peace is power because it does not resist the inner or the outer flow of life. It has to be in harmony. The inner and the outer flow, all one thing.
There's that Reverend Anonymous.
I know. I like this guy. He keeps popping up all the time. And he kind of has some cool things to say. He also says life isn't happening to us, it's happening through us. Now, I don't know if he was the first person to say that, but he certainly likes to say it a lot. I never thought of that. Wow. Maybe it's a he and a she put together in harmony, and nothing gets on the slides without the authorization of both. Anyway, I think it's important because we always have this perspective, things are happening. Things are happening out there. Everything's happening to me. Oh, we say it all the time. Oh, I caught a cold. I got cancer. This happened, that happened. We never just take responsibility for everything that's manifesting in our life. Look at it as a lesson, perhaps, a miracle. Maybe it's teaching me something. Maybe there's something. Stowe Good was really, really good at showing us how we can turn those, what we called negative things that seem to be happening to us, into positive opportunities. What an incredible story that Stowe had about taking back her life, making the decision to live. She said, I'm not going to die with my song still inside me. And it was at that moment she started to live and overcame cancer. And it became like the turning point in her life. So maybe it showed up. It was something that showed up because her soul had a contract to create whatever it took to get that song out of her into the world. Because we need it. And it's an amazing, amazing thing. So life is happening through us. And I don't advocate creating a cancerous situation in order to get your song out into the world. It's just sometimes that's what we do, and that's okay. So here's some lessons from A Course in Miracles. And I really want us to... See, I can already feel you guys. No, that stuff just happens. I can already feel you. I can already feel the resistance to these ideas. We're creating our reality, whether we like it or not, every single part of it. Co-creating. Thank you. That's pretty cool. Co-creating because we are one, and we are one with everything. We're co-creating with Spirit. And Spirit always wants us to co-create something magnificent. So if we can just say, with A Course in Miracles, I am not a victim of the world I see. Why? I invented the world as I see it. So even though we're co-creating, we cannot see all of it. And that's why we need to co-create with Spirit, because the Holy Spirit is in the realm that sees everything and knows everything. And of course, that's within us, and we can know it, but it's more of intuition, not seeing perceptually. And so that intuition is going to lead me to this. I can see peace instead of this. And so that's a choice. I like that because it's powerful. It gives me a choice. I can see peace instead of this. I really like that. And so the last thing is the power of decision is my own. How I respond to every situation is absolutely in my individual, personal control. How I'm responding. The manifestation of it is really spiritual. But this point of decision brings the spiritual into the relative. It brings the spiritual into the here and now. The decision that I'm making is bringing peace to me or pushing it further away. The power of decision is my own. And Jesus spoke to them, and he said, after this is post-resurrection, he said, all power is given unto me in heaven and earth. And this is probably one of the most misused and misunderstood sayings in the Bible. Because it's taken as a human being, some being, God, gave him all this power. What about you? I got all the power. He gave it to me. All power has been given to me. Isn't that the perspective of traditional Christian thought? All power was given to this guy, Jesus. So we're going to worship him, and we're going to bow down and create religions around him. It's not like that. All power is given to each and every one of us. All power in heaven and earth has been given to each and every one of you. In John 14, he said, greater things than I have done will you do. What? Yeah, you're going to do the same things I'm doing and greater things. I'm still waiting around to see what those greater things. I'm still saying, come on, let's really do it. Let's do the greater works that we were called to do. And if we follow metaphysical thinking in unity with Charles Fillmore, we're going to realize that there is a way of interpreting this that is useful, that helps me. So Charles Fillmore says, metaphysically, when Jesus said all power is given to me in heaven and earth. It meant all power in mind, heaven, mind, and earth, body. Heaven representing mind, and earth representing body. Fillmore also defines power as dominion or mastery. So essentially, Fillmore is saying Jesus attained mastery over mind and body. He brought his mind and his body into harmony with spirit. When your mind and your body is attuned and aligned with spirit, that's when all power is given you in heaven and earth. It's not something bestowed on you from an external force or an omnipotent being outside of you, but rather your own masteries of the energies of consciousness, your very own consciousness. What's actually happening is you're mastering the energies of the universe. You know, it's like electricity. We can do whatever we want with it. We can turn on the lights. That's a good thing. It can turn on the heat and the air conditioning. But we can also do something like amplify the music. Or we could run a camera. Hi out there, all you guys in YouTube land. That's a very sophisticated use of electrical energy. We can use electrical energy to power your cell phones and do a lot of things. So it's like up to us to take that power, to take that energy, and to take that God stuff within us and shape it into substance. And that's why our opening prayer is so important, to bring into manifestation my world according to divine law. Otherwise, we're bringing into manifestation a world according to separation, according to judgment, according to my misinterpretation of what's going on. I'm just interpreting things from the past. I'm interpreting things from seemingly separate reality that's not reality. And what I want to do is allow my interpretation to take a back seat and allow the interpretation of the Holy Spirit to take precedence in my life. And that's how I turn on the power. So when you're turning on the power, you use it for whatever you need. So at first you have to get plugged into the source, right? That's why we meet a lot. We come here on Thursday nights. We really get plugged in. I feel like it took a few weeks for us to get used to affirming the truth. I am the light of the world. I am God's love in action. I am power. I am a healing force in the world. I'm a powerful manifester using all my superpowers to heal the world. That's Wendy's. She says it more eloquently than I do, but she's got one that's just awesome. And remind ourselves of the truth constantly. It becomes to be memorized by not only our intellect, but the cells of our body. So we are mastering mind and body by doing this. Jess is an amazing healer. He does healing through the mind. All over the world, he teaches people how to heal themselves and others. And how does he do it? He affirms the truth himself. He gets plugged in. Then he can turn on the power for others. But first, you have to plug yourself in. You're an incredible healer. You're an amazing. I've witnessed your healing power. And the way she does it is to get plugged in to source, to set the environment for her mind and body so that she's in God and moving as God. I think it's so important that we allow ourselves the truth of our being to be fully in our consciousness. Everything else, like Joanne's meditation, breathe it out. Those are just thoughts. You don't need them anymore. All those thoughts are not serving you. So keep it positive. Keep your thoughts positive. All power is given you in heaven and earth when you have mastered the energies of mind and body. That's our wonderful interpretation. So when your mind and your body is in alignment with spirit, that is when all the power is given you. Not given you by someone else, but it's come into your awareness. That's all. It's come, you can use it. It's come into something that's now available for you to use. And there's so much of it. I want to say it's unlimited, right? Unlimited possibilities. We just had the World Day of Prayer, and so the theme was infinite presence, unlimited possibilities. So first we have to get into the infinite presence. Then all the unlimited possibilities can be manifest for us. Before that, we won't be able to handle it. We really are comfortable with our little perception of the world, and we don't want anything to shake that up. We don't want anything to move that. And you can see that our perceptions are getting smaller and smaller, and then there's a whole bunch of other people we seem to see out there, mirrors of ourselves, with small perceptions as well. And so my little perception is battling with your little perception. Oh my God, who's going to win that battle? Nobody. Nobody wins. We all lose in that battle. But the thing I'm talking about is when we turn on our power to see the God in ourselves and each other, everybody wins that one. You know, that's a fight that everybody wins. That's a fight between you and your ego. And you're going to say at one point, I've just had it with you. That's not who I am. I'm not that little voice that keeps telling me how small and how little I am. I'm not that little voice that tells me how weak and how I can be affected by all this stuff going out there. No, that's not who I am. I'm a powerful example of God's love in action. And I intend to do that. I intend to be that. And everything else will start to disappear and fall away from you. And it's the most amazing moment when you find yourself standing in that field out there beyond the ideas of right doing and wrong doing. As Rumi said, there's a field, and I'm going to meet you there. And when you find yourself standing there, it's amazing because you find other bright reflections of yourself standing with you. And it's the most sublime, incredible experience to be surrounded by the love of God in each and everything that you do. And that's when you realize all power has been given me in heaven and earth. It was given me from the beginning. It's always been mine. I just never turned the switch on. It's not something bestowed on us by this external force of this omnipotent being. You're simply mastering the energies of your own consciousness. And we can do it. You are an idea in the mind of God. The interesting thing about this is Imelda Shanklin was writing this stuff back in the 30s. And the Course in Miracles says exactly the same thing. And that didn't come to us until the late 60s, early 70s. You are an idea in the mind of God. An idea must be given expression in you. You are God's love in action. The idea of God has to be given expression through something. It might as well be you. Right? Might as well, right? Maj, great to see you. It might as well. I love that. We are human in expression, but divine in creation and limitless in potentiality. Another Eric Butterworth quote. Divine in creation. If we can remember that, we will also be divine in our human expression. In everything that we do, in the simplest act, we'll be expressing the divine. If you realized how powerful your thoughts are, you would never think a negative thought again. Because I am manifesting my world according to my thoughts. And finally, begin to live as though your prayers are already answered. Yeah. Isn't that true? Yeah, good. No matter what it is, just act as if it's already happened. I remember maybe 5 years ago when I first moved here, and didn't have a job. I was painting Al's house, trying to make a few extra bucks. Thanks.
Still a painter.
And people would come to our door and they'd say, well, what do you do for work? I said, I'm a Unity minister. Now, I hadn't taken one class in Unity yet. I had been around here for a couple of weeks, but I already started saying, I'm a Unity minister, because people were telling me that for 20 years. You're a minister? How are you a minister? Are you a Unity minister? Because I was a New Thought minister, and I was a Course in Miracles minister, but I hadn't become an ordained Unity minister yet. So I realized about 5 years ago, I'm just going to start saying it. Because that's what I am, and that's what I intend to be. And very soon, you're all going to come with me to Unity Village to my ordination. I've completed 45 classes in Unity. I'm in the field licensing program now. We're still doing some practicums and writing papers, and it's a wonderful process, and it's all amazing people all the time. And I knew that this is what I was born to do. And I just started claiming it. And guess what? My prayers are being answered. Amen. 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 And so also be careful what you pray for, because they'll always be answered. Now I'm stuck with you and you're stuck with me. But it doesn't matter if it's healing of your body. Act like it's already happened. If it's money in your pocket or in your bank account, act like it's already happened. If it's more love in your life or in your relationships, act like it's already happened. Forget about yesterday. Start today and just act like it's already happened. Turn your power on by claiming the truth and acting like it's already so. It doesn't matter what it is. I don't know if it was probably Martha was the first person that said, why don't we have solar panels on the roof? The minute she said, why don't we have solar panels on the roof? There were solar panels on that roof. Now, it might have taken 3 or 4 years to manifest, but it happened, and we didn't pay 1 penny for it. All we had to do was say, there's solar panels. We have solar. And it's amazing, because it's at least 5 times more than I thought it would be. We're generating enough energy for 5 buildings this size. Isn't that cool? And we're not. Everybody wants to know how to do it. I'll tell you what I did. I just prayed. I just said, it is so. It's going to happen. And people came and helped us to make it happen. And that's how everything happens in our lives. We have to claim it. If we claim it deep down in our hearts, and especially know deep down in our hearts that it's for our highest purpose, is to fulfill our soul's purpose here, nothing can stop you. Nothing at all. You can turn on that power and keep it on, my friends. Always claim it's already happened. The healing has already occurred. I know it. And I can see it in you. I see it in your eyes. I see it in your face. The healing of your life, your personal life, the healing of our planet, the healing of everyone, the raising of the consciousness of humankind, it's already occurred. Let's turn on the power. Let's turn on the light and let everyone see that the world is awakening and we're right in the middle of it. Turn your power on, guys. Keep it on, okay? Be a blessing. I love you.
You have been watching the message from our Sunday celebration service here at Unity on Cape Cod, providing a positive path for spiritual living. Please join us every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. at 147 Walton Ave, Hyannis, Mass. And visit us online at www.unityoncapecod.org.